Marcia. Hello, everyone. Oh, that's far.
Yes, we kind of heard it.
Way over there, but let's try and get this one going. If any of these tables work. It is Sunday. Andrea, ciao, come stai? The living room seating. Inman, hello. Cycle Base, hey everybody. Hey Sly.
How's it going?
We're all right. Hey Mom. Hey Paige. So, we decided today's just another chatting day because we both have projects that we need to focus on, and so we're not ready. Hey, Mama Connie.
We're as ready as we can be.
Yeah.
Oops. Let's see.
So your page can see you. Hey, Mama.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay.
There
How's
we go.
that?
Now we're on all the things. So
How's it going with everybody?
everybody have a... Oh, we had a break. It was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really great. Went up to Northern California. Paige says chatting days are good too. Great too. Yeah, sometimes it's just what you do. But yeah, we were in Northern California. It was my first time spending any time in the Mendocino woods, and it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I had been there once before for a wedding, and I just played the wedding, and then I had to leave right away. Yes, back from holiday, but not quite ready for playing
What's up,
yet.
Clark? How you doing, man?
Hey, Clark. Miss you too.
Yeah.
Trying to track you down.
Where are you at? Are you in LA or are you in Oakland?
Ramazan. Thank you, Ramazan.
Huh.
Yeah, so anybody got any questions? Well, I guess we could talk about the vacation a little bit more. Drove up. We did the 360 VR concert, and that was just, it was awesome. Andrea, hello. But it was also very, very stressful because the internet was really a challenge.
Right.
And we ended up having to go to 3 different studios just to find one that would actually work. And we did it, and it went pretty well. But there was still some internet problems because it's just the cutting edge of this technology, and over time, especially I think once 5G happens, then it'll probably be better and more stable. But we still had a great time. We had a great band. For those of you who didn't see the show, those of you who did, thank you so much. You got your thank you email. And then as soon as the concert was over, we jumped in the car and we drove north. Luna, ciao. Yeah, and so we went to Modesto, and then further north to hang out with Dave's parents for a bit, and then on up to outside of Sonoma.
Outside of Sebastopol, Occidental, Kent Meeker.
Yeah.
And
It was glorious. It
and
was
then
just so nice.
Bodega Bay, and then up to Navarro, Mendocino, Fort Bragg, and then through Clear Lake, and hung out with her sister outside of Sacramento, an Antelope, I think that's what it's called, and then back to Crockett. Back to Crockett. Oh, then to Petaluma, go see some more family, and then spend another day in Point Richmond.
Oh, that's so nice over there too.
Yeah, and then headed home.
Yeah, just in time for the heat wave.
Exactly.
Yesterday, I think it was 95. I think it's already 95 today, so it may even get hotter. We need your lives. Aw, thank you, Duda. Obrigada.
Thank you.
Obrigada. All is well then and now. Better you are back. Yes, we're glad to be back. Funny to be loud. Welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah, today is just a chatting day. But,
Yeah, I'm still not done with my work with my film, so.
And I'm working on my musical and just, Jackie, thank you.
Yeah. So Vicky asked me about playing today, and back then I was like, yeah, sure. The day showed up, I was just like, oh my god, I'm so still behind. Well, I just have a lot to do this week, including today, because I got to go back and produce some tracks for another project in the Bay Area Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, excuse me. So I got to get stuff done while I'm here, and then get back into playing, sooner or later.
We'll get there. Roland Doja, hey there.
What's up, Roland? How you doing? Alex Attard, what's up? Hi, Paulette. How's everybody doing? Gianluca.
Gianluca!
I woke up thinking about you this morning, Gianluca. I was like, wondering how you've been doing. I know you sent me a message, so I didn't get back to you about that. I've just been busy with this other thing.
Yeah. Joey!
What's up, Joey?
Hi. We missed you in the Bay. We were thinking about stopping by, but that's what always happens whenever I visit the Bay Area. There's just so many people. Studio Line Design, hello. Hey, John. Yeah, what happens in the Bay Area is just because we're both from there, so there's just so many people.
Yeah.
So we didn't make it to you this time, but maybe next time. That would be fun to have you join us on the Vegas.
Oh, Gianluca. So concerned about. No, we were good.
We're good.
I don't know about Victoria. I can only speak for myself. But after playing for 100 days straight, and then also trying to score this film and do everything, I didn't really realize kind of how tired I was until about a week into the whole thing, and then my body sort of got back to what ostensibly was normal prior to this, which is. I probably function at a little slower level in life than Victoria does. And so I have subsequently fell into that routine, which is normal for me. And I get things done. But it's been really nice to have time. And the truth is actually for scoring a lot of times, like I get up and around 11 or 12 is when I like to go in and start working on stuff. And so that was another thing that was kind of making it challenging. Like when we'd be playing, I if I had to, I could get going on it, but it'd really be like 5 or 6 at night before I could finally get back in that frame of mind to start working on stuff.
Yeah.
Which slowed me down a little bit. So, but how many songs was it for you in all these months? Oh my God!
I think we counted over 300.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah,
for sure.
We'll figure it out. So we just have to figure out how to make this, because I love playing every day. That's my thing. But I understand also how much energy it takes to do, because like I said, I've got my musical that I'm working on, and I've got to put my time into that, because we're moving forward, even with the whole situation. We still have our funders, and, we got to make it happen. But, so just trying to figure out the balance of, do we do this every day? Do we do this how many days a week? Is it what time? Do we stay at the 1 o'clock slot, or around? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rebecca. How are you?
Okay.
Stay locked at home. We do mostly.
Most we do anyway. Because go to the grocery store, go get things we need. Like I had to go. I accidentally spilled some water into my mouse, of all things. Yeah. And then I have another one down at the studio, but I didn't want to drive all the way down there, so then I had to go on a little mission yesterday.
Hey, Marlene.
Ended up at Best Buy getting a little.
Yeah, he had to get a new mouse.
I had to get a new mouse.
Thank you, Kimberly. Studio Line Designs. Kimberly.
And so that was, stuff like that. But the fact is like, the other part of our world is still, the sad part of it is probably our world, our network, what we do. It's going to be one of the slowest things to reopen. because even all the setbacks that even occurred, the last few weeks where things were starting to open and bars were starting to open and all that, and all of a sudden, the numbers surged up again. And so everything got closed down again. So it makes it challenging, for us to keep up, other than our outside work, to keep up momentum with the other stuff because there's no place to play, And we miss playing, we miss going to see shows, we miss being in shows.
Hey,
what's up, Daryl? But it's also, in my case, everyone has their own thing. It's been nice to have some time off. Playing every day was incredible and definitely transformative, and I look forward to getting back to it. And playing every day is good no matter what. I think the thing that it would be nice just to just do it whenever I feel like it. That's really how I've always been about music anyway. Other than when I get paid to do stuff.
Bye, Rebecca. Maybe we can have you jam with this.
Bye, Rebecca.
Have fun with the arrangement. So Sly's asking me about my musical. The musical is about the opera diva Marian Anderson, who sang on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial back in 1939, and is considered to be one of the first actions in the civil rights movement, and Martin Luther King even referenced it as an adult as something that influenced him. And so I have an amazing team of women that I'm working on this with, and we've got about, I would say, 3/4 of it finished, and so we got to get the rest done. And so I'm trying to stay focused on that. But I absolutely love playing every day because I feel how much stronger it makes me, and I love our music.
Yeah,
it's fun to play it, and I love you guys. I love that you guys ask for songs like Joey, Frank Zappa tunes and stuff. That's a challenge. I love the challenge. Did you get to write more when you were up this way? Did we write? No, we were really
Well,
on a break.
I wrote 3 songs for the movie I was working on. So but that was it. But we didn't work on anything. We worked on eating really well, traveling, recuperating, just being human, and just hanging.
Getting to see our parents.
Yeah, getting to see our folks and some friends too.
Sister, my sisters, my brother. Because it's been a while since we've seen anybody, but everybody's doing great, thank God. Sure, Sly. Yeah, it's going to be really, really great.
Hey, Stacy.
Story is so incredible.
We're just talking. We're chatting today. How
We're
you doing?
chatting. Let's see, what else am I working on? I'm just really experimenting with improvisatory techniques. You still haven't played 7 days. That's coming.
All right.
That's coming, Kimberly. We will do it. I promise. I've been listening again to the Victor Wooten book, The Music Lesson. We listened to part of it on the drive down. And it's so funny because so much of what Victor talks about is philosophy that Dave's lived his life by. He talks about with his coaching clients. And it's really funny to see the alignment of it.
Yeah.
But the way that Victor did his book, it's very much in a storyteller way. Hey, Stephen John. And just really listening to it and trying to apply it to my own playing. And because, I'm a perfectionistic, classically trained musician, which means that I'm very rote by nature. And Victor's book is more about just being in the moment. It's the same philosophy that Kenny Werner talks about, too, in his Effortless Mastery book. So I'm doing a lot of reading and just trying to apply it because I'm always looking for ways to grow as an artist and as a musician and to just become more accepting of the idea that I am music. You'll come down to LA before the end of the year. Oh, that would be awesome, Kimberly. Come on.
Hey, Lori. Yeah, Kimberly would be great.
Lori! Hey, Harry.
Hey, Harry.
Got the
What's
folks
up,
out.
man?
Yeah, dude, that says Sting. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's coming. That's such a great tune. But yeah, I'm just really interested in really owning it because I think it's because of my training as a classical pianist. I get caught up in the perfectionism of this note was wrong, or that note was wrong, or I didn't support it properly as a singer, etc. And I beat myself up way too much. So I'm really working on inhabiting this new concept of just what I'm doing. Cedric, hello. Is beautiful, and every note I play is beautiful, and it comes from that space of acceptance and love, and I'm really enjoying that. Work days are 5 days a week. You gave so much during 7 days. Need to rest and rejuvenate. That's right, Mom. Preach it. Oh, Victor's incredible. I see him at the NAMM show every year. He usually does a lecture, And so I try to go and see him. Even I go to the 8 a.m. sessions, even though we're up till like 3 in the morning. But it's so good. I get so much out of it.
Anybody else coming in here? So, yeah, so I was listening to the Victor Wooden book also with Victoria. And, yeah, I mean, for all the musicians that are out there, I think that the biggest part of everything is just, and he emphasized this. I started on trumpet. People that grew up with me know that, but in what I remember about growing up in the band and all that was, there was such a high focus on hitting the right notes and intonation and sort of dynamics, how you blended with other parts of the section and all that. But the one thing that they never really talked about or never ever focused on was rhythm and feel. And then as my life took me into drumming and all that, I sort of realized pretty quickly that I was like, man, this is like 90% of it is just the way it feels and the rhythm section part of it. And then I see guys like I can't remember this guy's name. I shared a music room for a few years with Billy Johnson, who some Joe I mean,
yeah, Bay Area folks know.
Bay Area folks know Billy, an incredible drummer, and another friend Bill Hawkins, who actually introduced me to Billy Johnson and introduced me to Joel Smith and to Will Kennedy and a lot of other folks. But we shared this other room. I remember this drummer. I can't remember his last name. His name was Dave something. He was from Stockton. He was only in there for maybe a few months. And this guy was like, he could play technically anything, and it was pretty amazing. I mean, technically he probably had more chop than all of us, but the thing he just did not have was his feel. He had like learned all the technical elements of everything, but he just didn't have the feel. And I was like, because I was, still at that point where I was still learning a lot about things. And I in my mind, I'm like, this guy's like so much better than me. And then I think it was Billy or one of those guys was just like, dude, your feel is just like smashes this guy. And it just sort of brought it home to me, because I didn't have that confidence really in myself at that point. I just knew that I got
Billy Shoes, that's right.
Yeah, Billy Shoes. I get hired a lot, I mean, I got hired and I would literally take I'm not proud of it, but I like end up taking gigs from people. And I wouldn't even try to do it. I would just show up to be the sub, and then they'd be like, "Dude, you want to play on the record?" And I just go like, "You got your drummer." And I didn't even know the drummer sometimes. It would just be complicated. But I think the thing that I always was like really tapped into was the feel. And if it didn't feel good, then it wasn't good. I didn't really care what it was. Even songwriting is the same way, man. If the song doesn't feel really good, then it's not really a thing. So it's one of those things that I just took it as a matter of fact. It always like once I learned it like years and years ago, I never thought about it ever again. But it's been interesting hearing the book and Kenny Warner stuff also where they talk about this stuff.
Well, I can say too, Kimberly is one of those people that I say epitomized that when I used to play with her. Like, no matter the song, no matter the situation, she played with so much feel and heart every single time, and still does. And I learned a lot from just being in the band with her in terms of getting beyond just playing the notes and really going for feel. I mean, every time she plays, the whole audience is on their feet.
Hi, Karen.
That's a real thing. Sean Tweedy was on there?
Yeah. Listen, I think he's a musician also.
Oh, wow.
We don't know each other, but we know each other from Facebook.
Dang, Kimberly says, dang, well, how come I didn't know about Dave on drums? I'd like to hire. Hey, you know what? Come on down here and we'll play together.
Well, the thing is, you probably didn't know about me because I segued into production and writing in the 2000s, and it was pretty immersed, and I got a publishing deal, and I was television and film. I just went pretty deep into that. I always played drums. I still played gigs, and those who did know, still, the phone still rang for it, and I still got hired for stuff, but it was just one of those things that, like I said, I just took a lot of... being with Victoria's been interesting because I took a lot for granted because I'm self-taught. I mean, I took lessons on drums sooner or later, but had some great mentors along the way. But with everything else, my thing is always, man, it just got to feel great. It's got to sound good. Songwriting's got to be good. You can't like. We listened to something today where I heard some top-notch, the top-notch players in a certain genre, And I always watch it in the hopes that it'll be good, and then I hear the songwriting, and I'm like, oh man, these guys, it sounds like 1995.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for that. There's ways to do,
Not at all.
yeah, Snarky Puppy, even Corey Henry, or who's the other guy? Oh, Lewis Cole. You know, there's people that are making really interesting, cool music. Tom Misch.
Her.
Yeah, it's dope and it's modern, but it has all the classic, elements in it and all that stuff. And
Liana La Havas.
yeah,
So many people.
there's so many people that really are
Moran.
Oh, T. Moran. Who's talking about T. Moran?
Your mom.
Oh, yeah.
And then LaShawn Tweedy wrote that they play piano.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, well, T. Moran was an early. When I was like 18, I took lessons with him.
Hola Diego.
Ciao,
Ciao,
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
T, we never, but that's another person. T, we never worked really on groove or feel. It was all technical elements, and that stuff really played into a lot of stuff. But there was never one teacher that ever had to like talk to me about feel. That was
You're lucky.
Nobody ever. It never even came up. It was always way more about
Michael!
technical expertise. That's what it was always about.
That's Michael from Barnu Michael on Twitch. He's one of my favorite people on that platform, and he's amazing. So those of you who are not on Twitch, go to Twitch and follow him because he's absolutely awesome.
Hi, Sarah.
Joey, you know T. Moran. Okay.
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Nice.
I took lessons from T when he had just got back from the Berkeley School of Music. So he was all hopped up and ready to go.
Hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's got a great sense of humor. He's like, hey, he talks like this. He's got this funny thing. He was always eating like a sandwich. I'd always show up and he'd be like, eat the sandwich, give me lessons. But I mean, he was so, his chops were so incredible.
Oh, wow. You know all those people too, Michael? That's so cool.
Who's that?
Somebody sent me a text, but I couldn't read it.
Oh, that's what
Barney Michael over on Twitch.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah, he's
okay.
the one that is like amazing. He plays and he talks. He did the 12-hour thing.
12-hour thing.
The 12-hour Twitch performance.
Oh, the 12. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Gotcha.
Yes, Kimberly, go on Twitch and make sure you follow Barney Michael. Big band chops. Joey, were you in a band with Billy? Billy and Simon Russell? That was a killer band, if that was the case.
Yeah, big band chops. Yeah, T played in the night band, and definitely had to do that Buddy Rich thing. But he also had that kind of Steve Gadd thing. He's a great blues player. That's what I also remember about him. But he taught me a few things, man, that I use like to this day. I mean, he taught me an inverted paradiddle, and I use those things all over the place. And I think there's a few.
Joseph.
Taught me a sextuplet. There's a bunch of stuff that he gave me that like I practiced. And also he gave me the inversions in the 10 reed book and to learn how to play in triplet time. I couldn't really conceptualize it at the time. It took me another year or two after being with him to go like, oh, I see how this all works, and learn how to play double strokes and paradiddles and everything in triplet time. That was pretty. That was eye opening and dramatically changed my playing.
I had some incredible teachers too growing up, but it was just different because I was in the classical world. So my very first teacher was Laura Toombs Scott, who was probably 85 when I studied with her, but she was also my dad's piano teacher. And she got me on the path toward classical music, and I absolutely love classical music. And then went to the Young Musicians program, which no longer exists, sadly, and studied with Eugene Gash. And he was just everything. It taught me everything I needed. But I also had Janice Maxie Reed, but for the choir. And I wish that I would have had her as a voice teacher because I probably wouldn't have quit. But oh well. So yeah, I mean, I'm really grateful for all of the experiences because they really led to where I am today. But that's the wonderful thing about music. There's never an end point. There's always somewhere to grow. Yeah,
that's it also. And the other thing, hi, Chrissy.
Oh, good, Joseph. You got your internet straightened out. Well, today's just a chatting day. Chrissy, yeah. Hey.
My cousin.
Hi, how are you? We're just chatting today, but we'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah. It's coming.
Figuring it out.
Yeah. I think the other thing is that Vicky and I sort of differ in a part where.
Persephone! Hi, Persephone. Good to see you. I keep meaning to call you, and then it's too late.
Vicky was under a lot of scrutiny. Victoria was under a lot of scrutiny growing up playing, and I wasn't.
Hi, Nina.
You know, hi Nina.
Yeah, he's he's autodidactic.
Yeah.
So he didn't have.
I mean, I had the barometer was the other musicians that were around because it was the '80s, so you had no other. I mean, I know it's the greats for the greats, but I wasn't even like tripping on that. That was just way beyond my comprehension. One Kaipo.
One Kaipo.
Ah, Kaipo. Talking about drumming. One Kaipo got me to he's the one that got me to be in the Guitar Center drum offs in like 90. I don't even know. Do you remember when that one was one? Like 92, 93, 94? Oh, God, I don't even remember. Miss you too, Chrissy. We're talking about... What's up, Juan? Juan, if anybody knows, Juan Kaipo here is an amazing producer, amazing songwriter, engineer, drummer, multi-instrumentalist. And we've known each other since, Jesus, it's been almost 30 years, huh, Juan? It's been a hot minute.
Hey, Joey says hi, Juan.
Yeah, he
Joey
knows Juan. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Juan, Joey Fabian says hi.
In Small World, Juan's brother Eddie works with Gwen Stefani, which my best friend Stephen Bradley works with. The rainbow was in black and white back then. It certainly was.
Have we got a favorite keyboard and drum kit that stands out? Well, the one we use in our concert, those are our endorsers, and we love them. Tom Burrow on the drums for him. He had his acrylic.
Yeah, they're acrylic drums.
And I had my Dexibel S9.
Yeah. So I love my drums. It's incredible. I also love my 69 Ludwigs for recording and for any kind of pop rock stuff. They just have that classic sound. And the other thing, I have a little Quest Love Kit that for just gigging around town is pretty effective, frankly. Yeah. A lot easier than dragging around the big drum set.
So Joey and Juan were in a samba reggae band together.
Interesting.
And Michael is asking about our musical backgrounds. You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. So my musical background is as a classical pianist. I grew up playing playing by ears from the time I was 2. And I started formal lessons when I was 11. And loved it and I loved reading music, so it was a natural fit for classical. And I got accepted into the musicians program, which was a program at UC Berkeley that had started, I think, back in the 50s, and it lasted all the way up until maybe about 5-6 years ago, which was sad that it ended, but it was an incredible piano program that so many musicians in the Bay Area went through. And I studied classical music. I was playing virtuoso stuff by the time I was 14 years old and entering competitions and won some national competitions. And then went to Oberlin for classical piano, but also loved playing. Go YMP! Hey, Philip! Good to see you! Another graduate of YMP. Who's an amazing singer. So then I went at Oberlin, and that was where I really first encountered the level of perfectionism that could exist. Because all of the people who were there had been studying actual formal lessons since they were 2 or 3 years old, and they were playing the masterworks from that time all the way up. So I had to catch up, and I did, because I loved it so much. And then I was accepted into Stanford, and went to Stanford for my graduate degree, and played around the Bay Area, and moved to New York, and eventually ended up playing for the Stars.
What's up, Boma?
Stevie Wonder, Beyonce. I've been all around the world. It's just been a phenomenal career, and I'm looking forward to more of that, and mostly our project, which we're just about done with, but because obviously of Corona.
I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm having to put a. I need something to put under this. Oh, give me this one. Yeah.
Okay. He's adjusting his phone. So that's the story, Michael. For me.
Okay, let's see here.
Ooh, Persephone, I see your question too. We'll get to that in a second. Dave's going to talk about himself.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
While he's adjusting his phone because it wasn't plugged in.
It wasn't plugged in. Well, because I couldn't.
Thank you, Philip. You are too. I can't wait till we can
There we
play
go.
again. Hey, Nick! Thanks, Michael.
Boma, what's up?
Yeah, staying motivated. Always staying motivated. Always
Yeah.
staying motivated.
So my story started trumpet, third grade. Started playing drums when I was 10.
Boma, hi.
Was in the marching band and
James!
was in a good marching band in the high school I was in. We won competitions and I was the drum captain. Went to another high school, picked up guitar and bass. And I was always kind of fussing around with them anyway because they were always around. And then became a full-time drummer. I got signed to a label when I was 19 and did a record at the record plant in Sausalito and got nominated for a Bay Area Music Award when I was 19 for Best Independent Record. We lost to Primus, which I thought was kind of fitting because I loved their record and go see those guys kind of. So I bounced around and then was a freelance drummer and then ended up in a huge, big Latin funk band called Los Angelitos. And with that band, also won a Bammy for Best World Beat Band, and we won a bunch of awards. Got signed to Fantasy Records, and was doing that. And as a freelance drummer, so playing, producing, and then I met my buddy Steve Bradley in '97. We put a band together and called Good Life, and doing pop rock stuff, and then really started producing. About 2 years later, started full-blown producing and writing, and I've just done a lot. So honestly, to go too deep into it, get crazy. I was signed to Songs Publishing for 11 years. I was a sync writer. Worked for So You Think You Can Dance for 4 seasons as one of their main score composers, and multiple MTV shows, and then last few years movies, and still producing, still writing, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing. But I was a nerd. I was definitely a drumming nerd, and was definitely going down the alley of this jazz fusion guy, and that's Joel Smith was a mentor, a Oakland guy. He's no longer with us. Amazing bass player and drummer and producer and writer and just overall badass. So he had a huge influence on me. But I'm one of these kind of people who just sort of have seen the music and music and the music industry all as one big thing, and I just sort of dove into all of it. And I've always just said sort of yes to everything. So I never really planned on being a score, score composer or film composer, or I just wanted to play drums and have a good time. But music just sort of took a hold of me, and it's taken me on this wild trip. And so now,
Nick wrote, Dave is an overall instrumentalist. He can play anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like, if almost anything you put in my hands, I'll figure it out one way or the other. Chocolate Breezy. Yeah, I had an amazing project with my buddy Stephen Bradley, and and we put a record out in 2004. That's still one of my favorite records I've ever been written. It was one of the first.
It's such a great record. It sounds contemporary.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I keep asking them to put it out again.
It was definitely ahead of its time. And when another. It's just a sob story at this point, but it's the truth. Another very dear friend of mine mixed it and helped produce a few of the songs on it. Also, Mike Busby, who passed away this last September, who's again another huge influence on me as a producer and writer. So the truth is that for me, I would have to go into it would be 10 or 15 minutes on each part of it if it was actually to
What's Red Radio?
Red Radio. That was the Chris Lloyd and the Hanghouse record.
Ah, okay.
That was the record that was nominated for Best Independent LP for in 1989 for the Bammies.
Mom, you're correct. That is that's the national competition I got in and won. Thank you very much.
Hey Nick, if only
289 songs in 12 days.
Yeah, no, I'm just give you the last month and a half or 2 months, I guess. It'll be 53 songs that I've scored for this new film that I'm working on. And the last Disney show was 82.
Hey Jen.
So the numbers, it just gets.
Hi
Jen. Jeffries, what's up, man? It gets a little crazy, but each one of those would be I could sit and talk about as separate entities for a solid 10 minutes pretty easily, because they're all pretty each one's sort of its own world. But what I really like doing, what all of it is all about, the truth of the real truth down to the crystallization of all of it is what I do everything for is I enjoy doing music. I love having a job in the industry and doing what I do, and I'm passionate about the work I'm doing. But what I'm really passionate always about is my own personal music and making original music and collaborating with people like Victoria and I are doing and playing live. I love that more than anything. I would really be happy just touring, like half the year and playing all over the place, and then recording the scoring for the other half. That would be that's what I've been working towards for a long time, I'm close to that now. I'm right on the precipice. So I'm hoping as things open up, I can get into that.
Yes, Mom, you got another one. When I won Fairyland in Oakland, they had a competition, and I entered it, and I actually won First Princess. And, I'm a perfectionist, so I was like, the number one role was the Queen, and I didn't get that. I got the First Princess. So I was.
But also, didn't you say that's where you first experienced nepotism? Was
yeah,
it the first,
pretty much.
Your first taste? Welcome to nepotism, in the music industry.
But then that girl didn't show up, so they promoted me to the Queen. So hey, it fit.
So.
Yeah. So Joseph was asking about how I got the Stevie Wonder gig, and that was from being on MySpace and reaching out to everyone that I knew who was actually a touring musician, saying, "Hey, this is me. Nice to meet you." Blah blah blah. And one day, one of those people reached out and said, "Call this phone number," and I did, and that led to me booking an audition. And 4 days later, I was hired. It was crazy. It's a long story. That's how that started, though. I got the audition. I went in and auditioned for 4 days. There were 9 people altogether, and they chose 2 of us.
Yeah,
and I was one of the 2.
That's a good long story. Also,
yes, it is.
That's a fun one. So,
how are you guys getting by with this?
I know this
shutdown that we thought was lightning, and then it got shut down again. Because that's, we were looking forward to the idea that we could actually get out.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe by the end of the year we could be playing gigs, or at the very least I could pick up some of my kind of corporate work playing out and about. And I'm still getting my fingers crossed for that, because some of the other places that I work in would open up. But we'll see. Other studios and stuff, fingers are crossed. Kurt, and I think Kurt Jeffries, he's back east.
Okay. The best part of the story is you get to meet Nate. There you go.
Me too. I get to meet Nate. I met Nate through Vicky at NAMM, and
get your people to start acting
right. I'm not sure what that.
What does that mean, Kimberly?
Which of our people are not acting right, Kimberly? Yeah. Let us know. We'll have a word with them.
That's right. Networking can lead to great opportunities. That's where we met you at NAMM, Nick.
Yeah. Well, we're in a networking business. That's one of the things about music in general. Like, if you don't, a lot of people, like the best players, sometimes are not always the most communicative, or communicate really well and network really well, and sometimes they feel left. But you got to be able to go out and talk to folks and hang out and check it out. And
so many sides to the business. I'm reading Ari Herstein's book too, making it in the new music business.
Oh. Oops. Sorry. I was looking because I saw Jeremy and Sebastian. Seabass, Jer, what's up? How you guys doing?
So in his book, he talks about just all the different aspects. So yes, it's mastering your instrument, of course. Bossa Nova in the repertoire? Yes, we got some Bossa Nova.
Yeah, of course.
We can do it.
Yeah, or Samba, either one.
Yeah.
The truth is, I kind of prefer Bossa Nova. It's sexier, it's slower, it's a little more. And also playing samba and drums, it's just, I have such a reverence for it, and that
it's work.
I mean, it's work, and where I'm at right now, even with my playing, I'm still half-assing it, honestly, compared to like I got a few friends in the Bay Area. Celso Alberti is amazing. Brazilian drummer. Yeah. So and hey, Jeremy Kurtz, I saw your bass. It looked beautiful. I was looking at it. That looks really, really nice. Jared played with. He was the bass player in the electric company with me and Danny Eisenberg and KP playing guitar, and Robert Ball, the guy who passed away. Another one. Everyone I love passes away.
Well, I was saying that it's important to focus on, hey, Charles, being masterful on your instrument, of course. Like we were talking about earlier, having the feel, but then Ari also talks about the networking. Like, you have to be a people person. Hola, tudo bem? And network and go out and see live music and talk to people. That's a really important part of it. But then also there's the business side. That's the part that nobody wants to do. But actually making press releases and making posts and designing visuals, it's so much work. But that's that's part of the business. And Ari actually,
Sorry.
Ari recommends that you spend half your time on the actual music side and half your time on the business side if you want to actually elevate to being able to sustain yourself in your livelihood.
That's the
which
truth.
is challenging for any of us right now since nobody can play. But
yeah, and business-wise, it's hard to network when
you can't.
everybody's at home. You can't go to a club and like talk to musicians that you just saw that were incredible.
So
Or
it's just Zoom calls, and we've done a bunch of Zoom performances. Like we did the thing with the jazz school, or what's it called, the jazz
Conservatory, yeah.
up in the Bay Area in Berkeley. And I've done a bunch of them for a variety of schools. And then we did our 360 concert and, our daily concert, which, is kind of on pause at the moment.
I think what did we do? How insensitive? Or did I learn that on
Nobody did Corcovado.
Corcovado, yeah. And I think I learned how insensitive on guitar, but I subsequently have forgotten it. My tenant at my studio showed it to me.
Yeah.
Beautiful piece, though. Let's see. Mike Pascal, what's up? Crockett.
Yeah,
Crockett. We were hanging out with Mitch last week.
Yeah.
Went to Camp Meeker.
Had some good food. It's delicious.
Word for feel those eyebrows. It isn't enough to play the right note. You got to put the eyebrows.
Oh, I love that. Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's a good one.
Joseph, technology is a great thing, but it's not the same as being in the same place and rocking and bopping. Hopefully next year is different. You are saying the word, Joseph. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, I just can't tell you how many times I've played in a variety of situations, whether it's just I used to play at a piano bar in Danville. And we had a regular following of people, but there was never more than 20 people in the whole place. And sometimes 3 or 4. But people would walk up with goosebumps or the tears in their eyes and tell me how much what I did helped them or changed their state of being. There's nothing like that. To be able to see somebody's eyes and to feel the connection. So we really do miss that.
Paige was asking me about Make-A-Wish. Yeah, I've worked on a few other...
So they don't know what she said.
Oh, so my friend Paige asked me, did you work on any projects for Make-A-Wish besides Bat Kid? Yeah, I worked with 2 other kids so far down here in Los Angeles. One kid was from New York, and had like real bad brain kind of stuff that had happened, but he was coming through. He was funny. He was a character. He was a little gangster. I can't remember the kid's name now. And then this other kid was...
A kid from Florida?
A kid from Florida. I did a thing at the Village Studios with... that was last year.
Bye, Kristen. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Chrissy. Love you. I look forward to seeing you. Probably be Christmas.
Hopefully.
Yeah. The kid that I worked with, he was amazing. He was a trip. He had this real deep voice. And it almost sounded like he was from Joy Division or Bauhaus. It sounded like this, but his words were really cool, and he was super cool. And I brought a Ryan Salazar in on that also to help out, and Victoria, obviously. Did you work on the other one? Did you come on the other kid? No, I don't think so. My friend Ben Wilkins worked on that. Yeah. So, but the truth is the Make-A-Wish Foundation thing, which was just a volunteer thing, led to so much of the work that I'm even currently doing with Dana Nachman, the director I work with, because she's the one who directed Bad Kid. And, I've done Disney series with her. I've been the movie I'm currently working on, and did a short with her. She executive produced the other movie that I worked on, the Nova special. So it's funny. I mean, if anybody's out there, you get a chance to help out and be part of something where you're just helping kids or just anything where you can volunteer and put your time. Like you may think your talent is like whatever, but like when you work with a kid who's going through some real stuff, suddenly it becomes everything. And it's been one of the most satisfying things that I've gotten myself into. That's for darn sure.
And they're just having the time of their lives. Hey, Uncle William, good to see you. We have a couple questions here. Toquinho, outstanding guitarist, and then Rachel said her son is on iTunes.
Rachel Hart. Sounding guitarist and composer from Brazil. Okay. Listen to my son. He is on iTunes. I would need more specifics to listen to your son.
What's an actual name?
What about your first? Emily got I think she needed a kidney replacement, and she got it. She's married and she has a kid now.
Wow.
That's what tells you what's going on with her.
Graso.
He's going through a lot.
Oh my God, unstoppable. Graso Onago. Why don't you put the link in the
yeah, give us
in
a
the chat,
give us a
Rachel?
proper link, and then we can check it out.
Yeah, how you doing,
Hey, Uncle
William?
William. Good to see you. That's something that would have been good to see too.
Yeah, especially since my Carla just had her 70th birthday,
Oh wow.
and she looks 47 for real. If that, maybe actually like 40. She looks
Yeah,
great.
she looks incredible. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is this one over there?
That's what I already got. That one.
Oh, okay.
That was Joseph over there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know we talked about playing today, but like I said, it sort of definitely snuck up on me. Guilty. And so I was like, well, let's just go on and just talk today and hang out.
I miss my community, all you guys.
Yeah, me too. But after 100, man, it's 100 days is a lot. It was crazy. Anybody else have anything going on interesting out in your world? That's the question. Or everybody just sitting around like us?
Well, I discovered something on the vacation. I don't, in general, TV bores me. I have zero interest in it. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel. There you go.
Paige, you're right. We need to rest from the vacation, right? Isn't that true? Especially when you have one where you bounce around as much as we do.
Yeah, Paige, that was the truth, is that we just saw people the whole time, so we were just going to be on the whole time, and that's what I was telling Vicky. I was like, man, I just want to like rent when I'm done with this movie, I just want to like rent a little place down by the beach, down south, towards San Diego or something for a week, but maybe have an Airbnb with a piano in it, and just completely tune out for a week or two. Yeah.
Yeah, right, Nick?
Oh man,
That's so real.
Yeah. Being with people is the best.
It
I mean,
is.
for having fun.
Yeah. But I was saying, I discovered something on the vacation.
Okay.
I don't like television. I get bored. It's not interesting to me. But I discovered a show I actually liked. It's called Cobra Kai. And it's like a sequel to Karate Kid. Who would have thunk? But it's so cleverly written. It's funny. And, I mean, it's got some components that are kind of like regular TV, but especially for back in the 70s.
Your normal cliche television stuff.
But then they sideswipe you with some hilarity. And I'm in. Like, we watched the first 2 seasons. I've never binge watched anything.
It's her first binge watch.
It's my first one. So, and then the season 3's not out yet, and I'm like, how dare they?
Yeah, she
It's
was
a
like,
show
she was like,
page.
Cobra Kai tonight? I was like,
But there's
oh.
no more Cobra Kai. So they make the guy Johnny, who was the bad guy in the movies, and they make you actually like him, right, Nick? It's really good.
It's good. Well, the funny thing is, and I like that they played up on this also, was that at some point in the last few years on Facebook, there was a little sort of observational video about the movie, and what it really points out is that Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid, is really the instigator, and through all this, because they basically point out, like, Johnny was going to school, he was doing his thing, and then
Hey, Delana.
he had this girlfriend, and he had broken up with this girlfriend, or they were having a little tiff, and when they had a little tiff, Macchio saw that they were having a little tiff, and he rolled in, like, he came in, right? And Johnny's like, "What are you doing, dude?" And they basically show how, like, and it's really subtly done, that how Ralph Macchio was really the instigator in a lot of stuff, and even used an illegal kick in the end to kick his butt. So I think the writers of the show actually are using part of that, because the way that so far that it's kind of ending up, it kind of looks that way. But what do I know? That's just what it seems like.
Freddie, the best social media for indie artists is all of them.
Yeah.
You just got to get on everything. And because the thing is, you don't know where your audience is going to be. You can try to determine, who's going to like what you do, but you really just don't know. So just, I would say get on all of them and try to be active as much as you can.
Yeah, if you really want to create a community, then you need to, you need to kind of create that. What are you doing that's going to bring people there? And not like we're some masters of it, because we just would do. What's that?
What Joey wrote.
Oh.
You can make a lot of FZ fans happy if you ask your old boss why he thinks FZ in the credits of songs in the key of life is a point of intriguing forms. Huh, okay. Next time I talk to him, I'll see if I can get that question in there.
FZ? Who's that?
Frank Zappa.
Oh, Frank Zappa?
Yeah, Joey's always asking us to play Frank Zappa. Tongue in cheek, I know.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Todd Rundgren is real. He really wants us to play that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was a Utopia song in the 80s that I really liked. I have to dig that up. I can't remember what it was. They had a video for it.
Joseph, I'm not.
What's that? What do you ask? Single?
No.
Oh.
It's about you.
Oh, what do you ask? What do you say?
Does Dave work out? Watch yours on Instagram. Get your man involved.
Should I be working out? Oh, man.
How you doing, Cynthia?
Oh, watches. He watches your workout because you do your workout thing online. Oh, gotcha.
I don't usually do it online, but I did. I posted it.
Yeah, you posted something the other day. I saw that.
Dancing.
I was dancing. I had my midriff on. I was just dancing.
Whatever.
You want to see me with my midriff on? Is that what you're saying? You may not enjoy the workout so much. Might have a different slant to it. You want to hear something grunting and groaning?
Scroll yours. Is anybody else?
I don't think so. I think that's where we're at. That's interesting. I wonder why you think. Well, probably because I would assume that they're buddies.
Hey, Joel T.
Hey, Joel.
I don't know. Stevie's influences are far and wide. So you have a show in September. Persephone wrote, I have a show in September in Amsterdam. It's in the Theosophical building that was used for a number of various uses. The building is the star of the show, and I get to improv at dusk, just me humming or something next to a wall. It's a performance situation thing. Oh, that sounds amazing, Persephone. Please send me a link to that. I would absolutely love to see it. And yeah, that's a great idea. Because there's some cool buildings here in LA. I'm sure we could work something out.
I
said the last name right. Do people, I guess, usually say it incorrectly? Well, I'm glad. I try to use my linguistic skills.
Like,
Joseph?
Is it T?
Yes.
Yeah, like league because of the T. What do you say?
Well, you always sit down being a drummer, haha.
Oh, yeah.
That's drummers.
Yeah,
Go
well,
for it.
Long as it sounds good, baby.
That's right. It always sounds good. I've always been a dancer. Well, in my head. In my body. I'm okay. I'm okay for a non-dancer. But, I'm always that's one of the things I always look forward to every summer is they have free dance classes here in Los Angeles on a musician's budget. Of course, that's a wonderful thing. And, of course, none of that's happening right now, except the Friday nights that are usually downtown LA are now happening online. So that's what I did. And I just had so much fun doing the Bollywood dancing. I just am fascinated by it. But it's really hard. It's so fast. I was like, oh my God, I can't put the hand with it. Oh.
Well, what time is it? 1:54? Okay. Yeah. You got 6 more minutes.
So what else is anybody doing out there? How are you keeping busy, Joel? What's happening? Joseph? Are you working out, Joseph?
He's like, yeah, baby, I'm working out right now. Think about you.
Oh, Lord. Anybody else over there?
No, I think we hit the... Rachel was the last one. Oh, Colin Hogan slid in there. He slid in at some point.
Amazing musician.
Yeah, he's amazing. When are you guys playing again, Colin? I don't know if you're still there or not. We're just yapping.
They were doing every Friday.
Yeah, they're going for a
I don't know
while.
if they still are.
I don't know either. But him and his brothers are totally amazing.
So incredible.
Yeah.
Their own band.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's hard to keep all this rolling, man. Takes a lot of energy. Anybody else?
Oh, Joey has a new gig, producer of the radio program. Yes, tell everybody, and put the link to your radio program in the comments so people can watch it, Joey. Or listen to it. Not watch it. Unless it's also video. Maybe. I don't know. Jesse says, absolutely not.
As I assumed.
Oh, he was watching Donna Summer, and then we popped up live.
Okay.
So there we go.
Hi,
Nick
Carol.
is adding to the studio.
That's Dustin.
Okay.
That's Dustin and Ethan's mom.
Okay. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. How you doing? Our show isn't quite as slick as Ethan's,
Yeah.
but I admire him and appreciate him for it.
Persephone's going to read something in Dutch, which you don't recommend. Okay.
Okay.
It's boring retirement planning. That's what your show is about? Retirement planning? It's not music? Okay, well,
Nick
retirement
Jones,
planning is important.
Nick, I'm looking forward to coming out to Chicago and driving around with you and jamming in your studio.
Going to get some more of that pizza.
Give them the pizza.
Good. I'm hungry.
That's my kind of working out. If you want to know. Like well, I'm starving.
Me too.
Coffee, too.
Coffee and lunch.
Coffee and
Tea for me.
Cafecito.
Yeah.
Or in Spain, café con leche. Ended up getting the MacBook.
They see-
Good! Oh, the MacBook, the MacBooks are
Oh, wow.
from the recent chatty.
Oh, that's from
Oh, okay.
that's from the chat.
Oh, this is 100
Oh, you were hired by a production company. I see. Okay. Well, hey, still put the link in there because retirement planning is important. Nick says, we're always welcome. Just if we could get on a plane.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing right now.
I don't know. I'm flying up on. I'm flying to the Bay.
Oh, we'll have a great time.
On Friday. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go see Nick.
Yeah.
I want to go do something.
Can you recommend an Airbnb or a place to stay or?
Yeah.
a hotel
What
or
do you think,
something
Nick?
that's-
We need to
what
come
do you
hang.
recommend?
Oh yeah, because he's
Yeah.
off. Ethan takes Sundays off, right, Carol?
Joseph, yes, we are in Los Angeles where we are currently having a heat wave. It may be about 100 today.
Yeah. I don't know. It was blazing. We took a beautiful walk last night,
Oh,
though.
so
Man.
good. We walked for like almost 90 minutes.
Yeah.
All through the hills. So nice.
That's where when you're here, early evening, Los Angeles is beautiful. It really is. We live in a real nice. The neighborhood we live in is nice and it's quiet, but we're right near
Very
everything.
quiet.
We're in Los Feliz, California, so
1 hour. Dave's story time.
huh.
The whole hour's been story time.
as opposed to the last hour, yeah. Oh, it's hot in Crockett too. Yeah, no
I'm
surprise.
sure.
Well, it's coming, right? I mean, in July, August, September, that is the heat wave in
California.
California.
Yeah, we don't get the heat before July.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I don't know. Story time. What else? What else? I don't know what you want to talk about.
Talk about 93 in Sebastopol. Wow.
Woo! That's hot. You need to go to the beach.
Yeah.
I've been watching a documentary. What you
Why?
watching?
I know you've been lurking in there. Hey, muchas gracias por esos buenos momentos de música. Fue un gran placer poder escuchar vuestra música. Gracias, Clyde. So that
Thank
means
you.
everybody, thanks for the good moments of music, and it's been a pleasure listening to our music. We appreciate you, Clyde. Thank you. All right, everybody. Well, I guess we're going to wind it on down. Gutted been off all week and pissed it down, but that's England. So sorry.
Oh, it's raining out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like everything's shutting down over here on Instagram.
Hey,
And-
Phil.
Hey, Phil.
What's up, man?
Phil.
Phil, what are you going to do? When are you going to go online and play, take requests?
Yeah.
I always think about Phil Bennett's over here on my Facebook. He's an incredible musician, piano player, and just all-around musician.
Instagram, we're still on Facebook and on Twitch, so if you want to switch over,
Uh-oh.
bye.
Head down. Bye,
Instagram's shutting
Instagram.
down.
Peace. And I'll never forget. I've said this before, but there was a Christmas party Big Al had, and you jammed and we jammed, and I was just like, you just knew so many songs, and it was so great to hear you do all that stuff. So I'm hoping one of these days that I put on Facebook, and Phil Bennett is doing a request show, doing a hang, showing those virtuosic skills that you possess, my friend. How you doing, Phil? Anyway, how you holding up out in Pleasanton? I know that's where you're at. I know we're all itching to get stuff. That we did our 360 show, and I showed a friend yesterday, and it was just like, man, it was so good to play and have that. So next few weeks we're gonna get back at it. As soon as I'm done with this film, take a real some time off. It's just like where, as much as I love to see everybody, I just need to really decompress fully. Because then once I do that, then there's no excuses. That's sort of how it works for me. Then I have no excuse about coming back. This is like, okay, you had your time. Back to work. Exactly. All right, you guys.
We love you. We miss you. And
yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. We will we'll stay in touch.
Yeah.
By the pool, doing yoga.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm
Outdoor
talking
yoga
about.
is my favorite. I love it.
And I'm going to go drink some coffee and go attack the rest of this score that I got to deal with.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to work on my musical.
Yeah, we'll be back soon,
work on
Phil.
some lyrics.
And man, when this thing opens, there's so many people I'd like to get together with and play with. And Phil, you're definitely one of those people. He's amazing. 2 keyboard players.
Yay.
Dueling.
Come on, we got this.
That's right. All right, you guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Love you.
Have a good